Dear students, welcome to the lecture 3 of week 3, wherein we will be talking about central excise and customs clearance. This is just an introduction of all the issues related to central excise and custom clearance. At the outset, let us go through the contents of today's lecture. We will be talking about the introduction and importance of customs and excise. After that, we will talk about the legal framework and evolution, followed by central excise and customs concepts. After that, we will have a look towards the types and objectives of customs duties. In addition, we will try to understand the institutional and administrative setup, followed by tariff classification and valuation principles. We will be after that focusing on World Trade Organization Valuation Agreement, followed by trade facilitation versus regulation. At the last, we'll be talking about digital transformation, risk management, internal cooperation, and certain case illustration, after which we will conclude our lecture. Let us start with brief introduction. Customs and excise are essential instruments for regulating and facilitating cross border trade. We all have seen the importance and relevance of cross border trades for economies to become economic might. The customs excise are essential instruments which facilitate as well as regulate and if properly not adhered to can also hamper the cross-border trade. Customs and excise balance the twin goals of revenue generation and trade facilitation. Also, customs controls ensure national security, product safety, and environmental compliance. Customs and excise also develop understanding of the legal and structural framework. The understanding of legal and structural framework is important because it tells us about the operational procedures. Dear students, let us focus on the legal framework and evolution of customs and excise. The customs are generally falling under Customs Act 1962, which was the primary law governing import or export, which contains elements about duties and enforcement of the same. Then in 1944 came the Central Excise Act, which was responsible for governing duty on domestic manufacturing, partly which has been partly replaced by goods and services tax. Then the shift from colonial era control based policies to World Trade Organization compliant facilitation models also changed the whole legal system related to export and import. It is noteworthy to add that in the post 1991 liberalization era, there was more emphasis on trade promotion, simplification of trade, and global integration of trade. Let us talk about the central excise, its meaning and relevance. Central excise is a kind of tax which is being levied on the manufacture or production of goods in India. The liability of this tax arises at the point of manufacture, not sale. This central excise is now limited mainly to products like petroleum, tobacco, and liquor after implementation of goods and services tax. Still, it is relevant for trade policy, revenue, and domestic industry production because it still includes some important products for the country. Let us now try to understand The customs duty, its concepts and objectives. Customs duty is a tax levied on goods entering or leaving the country or economy. The customs duty serves multiple objectives. The first objective is revenue generation for the government. Revenue generation is very important for government exchequer. Government exchequer is important for developmental and infrastructure project of the government. Thus, without revenue, a government may not be able to perform its social and welfare functions for the country. Thus, revenue generation is an important task which government is looking after. Customs duty is one of such ways through which government can earn more revenue and generate more revenue which can then be used in developmental activities. The second is protection for domestic industries as a particular tax on goods of foreign countries so as to give benefit to the domestic industries. Generally, in developing countries, the domestic industries comprises of small and medium enterprises and they face huge competition, rather huge undue competition with the multinational corporations. Thus, multinational corporations, when they are entering into a country's markets, their pricing may be discouraged and given benefit to the domestic industries through customs duty application on the foreign goods. The third objective is regulation of strategic and hazardous goods. In any country, there is flora, fauna, and human life. Human life, flora, and fauna can have threats with type of goods that may enter into a country. If the goods that are entering are strategically hazardous goods that may have potential harm or potential negative usage in the country, then again customs duty can play an important role in blocking those products and services. Finally, customs duty's objective is to implement foreign trade and tariff policy. We have already learned that foreign trade policy is very important for countries for trade facilitation, for increasing global competitiveness, as well as increasing forex reserves. Customs duty thus ensures compliance with environmental and health standards. Let us try to understand what are the different types of customs duty. The first is basic customs duty. Basic custom duty is the standard duty in imports. If any particular company is importing goods, then a basic duty has to be paid that is known as basic customs duty. This duty is common to every product. The second type of duty is countervailing duty, CVD. This offsets the domestic excise duty on imports. The third, which is very important, is anti-dumping duty. We have already discussed that what is dumping? Dumping is selling goods at lower prices in other countries to capture the market. One of the examples is China selling goods in India at such prices which Indian manufacturer cannot even imagine. It means the price is so low that even if we manufacture the product in India, the cost of production will be more than the market price of the Chinese good. This is known as dumping. So, countries that want to discourage this dumping practice of other countries, they impose the anti-dumping duties. It protects against unfairly priced foreign goods. Anti dumping is very important for developing countries because it is like a sword which can protect developing countries from countries that are producing at mass scale and have achieved economies of scale. The next type of custom duty is safeguard duty, which is imposed in case of sudden import surge. If suppose immediately import of certain items have increased, which may lead to depletion of foreign exchange or any other strategic problem may arise, then such a type of duty is applied on those products. And finally, the last type of custom duty is social welfare surcharge. This surcharge is over and above the taxation, and this is to facilitate, to manage, to benefit the social sector initiative. For example, a 1% surcharge will go to education, will go to hospital, will go to poor people, etc. Thus, each duty type serves a specific economic and regulatory purpose, and according to time and situation, the government may use the type of duties application. Let us now discuss the institutional and administrative structure. The institutional and administrative structure is very interesting. We have the first point as Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, which acts as the apex, the main authority for customs and excise. The second administrative structure of customs and duties stands as customs commissionerates. These are the operational units at ports, airports, and land borders. Their role is to monitor the goods and services that are flowing and whether proper duties and customs have been paid on it or not. The third is Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, that is DRI. This institution and organization under custom and duty segments investigates smuggling and duty evasion. They work like detectives and provide information in case of any such duty evasion or smuggling of items. The next is DG Systems, NSCIN, and Valuation Directorates. These support digitalization, training, and valuation standards for customs duties. Finally, it is important to understand that close coordination among agencies ensures efficiency and enforcement. Dear students, let us now try to identify the role of CBRC, CBIC, the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. Main role is policy formulation, policy implementation, and oversight. This organization has been doing wonders through policy formulation in areas of customs and excise. The second organization is Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. This particular organization has been active in enforcement against tax evasions, duty evasions, and also in terms of misdeclaration and illicit trade. The third organization is Directorate Journal Systems, which provides all the digital infrastructure for customs automation. In times of crisis such as pandemic and in times where in the contemporary world digitalization has increased, Directorate General Systems have been very active in providing necessary digital infrastructure to the customs centers and users in India. And finally, we have the National Academy of Customs, Indirect Taxes and Narcotics, which takes into consideration cas- capacity building and training of the people to be active into the customs and duty areas. Thus, with these organizations and agencies collaborating with other bodies like WCO and WTO for best practices can do wonders for India in terms of customs and excise duties. Let us now try to focus on customs tariff and classification. Customs tariff schedules classify goods and assign duty rates. These custom tariffs are based on harmonized system of nomenclature, in brief known as HS codes, which is a global standard by the World Customs Organization. The correct classification ensures accurate duty calculation, trade statistics, and policy formulation. Under the classification of custom tariff, misclassification can lead to penalties, audits, or legal disputes. The next important question which arises that what is the manner in which customs can be valued? What are the principles and what are the different methods? At the outset, it is important to highlight that customs valuation determines the accessible value on which duties are calculated. The core principle of customs valuation is the transaction value, the price actually paid or payable. This price can be made into certain adjustments, and these adjustments may include freight, insurance, commissions, and royalties. Valuation ensures fairness, prevents under invoicing, and aligns with World Trade Organization norms. Let us try to focus on World Trade Organization's valuation agreement. This is an agreement between India and WTO. Rather, the right thing to say is all the signatories of the WTO are bound by a valuation agreement. India's valuation agreement is aligned with GATT and WTO customs valuation agreement. Under this agreement, the different methods that are available include the transaction value, identity goods value. This is the basis based on which the agreement facilitates similar goods value, deductive value, computed value, and fallback value method. The simple phenomena is that all these values are calculated and based on the selection choice of the calculated values and the method, the valuation is determined. All these different valuations which are approved by World Trade Organization promotes transparency, predictability and non-discrimination in global trade. Dear students, let us now try to understand the difference between trade facilitation and regulation. Customs balances trade facilitation, which include speed of trade and efficiency of trade, while regulations talks about security and compliance issues. The facilitation tools include digital clearance, risk-based inspections, and AEO scheme. On the other hand, regulation ensures legal compliance, safety, and anti-fraud enforcement. Similarly, effective customs system integrate both, that is, the trade facilitation and regulation to support global trade competitiveness. If India wants to be much more globally competitive in the international market, it is always the right thing to combine the dual forces of trade facilitation and trade regulations. Let us also talk about revenue protection and policy rules under the customs and excise. Custom duties contribute significantly to government revenue. These customs duties protect domestic industries against dumping and unfair competition. These custom duties serve as instruments of industrial trade and foreign policy. It is also very important because it provides strategic control. This strategic control helps safeguard sensitive technologies, endangered species, and public health. Dear students, let us now focus one on one contemporary issue, that is digital transformation in customs. There are different digital transformation initiative which has actually transformed the way customs have been used. These initiatives were need of the hour due to India's changing scenario of the economy. With the change in global technology, India's economy is becoming more digitalized and digitized. Thus, it was the need of the hour then within customs also better digitalization and digitization should be inculcated. Thus, the first important phenomena happened, which is Indian Customs Electronic Gateway. This gateway facilitates online filling and duty payment portal. This is an online portal and it can be easily accessed by anybody through the website and QR codes. This particular gateway is one of the most widely used gateway by exporters and importers used for duty payment, etc. The second important transformation is through single window interface for facilitating trade, which is SWIFT. SWIFT is the single window for multi-agency clearance. Say for example, some amount has Mr. X has to receive some amount which is actually coming from United States of America. This Mr. X is in India. It means money has to flow from United States of America to India. Now there may be multiple agencies involved. For example, this is Mr. Y who is a US citizen. Mr. Y has his bank in, for example, American Bank, an account in American Bank. So Mr. Y submits the request of transferring to Mr. X. This goes to the Federal Reserve, for example. This goes to clearing house, etc. Then it comes to Reserve Bank of India, then to your districts, your State Bank of India. Then within the State Bank, the Forex branch, it will come under the Forex branch and final to you. So you can see in this kind of international transactions, there are so many entities. This is one, this is two, this is three, this is four, this is five, and finally this is six. So six, which means multi-clearing agencies, six multi-clearing agencies are there. In such a scenario, SWIFT is used and SWIFT, every bank has a SWIFT account, that is single window interface for facilitating. The next important transformation happened in terms of risk management system. In the contemporary times, under customs, several risk management systems has been automated, such as risk-based automated cargo selection. And the last one is faceless assessment with the use of remote clearance, which reduces human intervention. Faceless assessment has also become a digital revolution in terms of customs. Thus, in a nutshell, digital transformation has cut clearance time and improved transparency as well as reduced the costs. Let us now talk Let us now talk about risk management and compliance system. Risk management minimizes inspections while ensuring security. The cargo which is being supplied and classified into high risk and low risk categories. The high risk categories include and are subject to detailed examination, while the low risk categories are expedited clearance. Compliance program like authorized economic operator reward trusted traders with faster processing is integrated into the compliance system. Let us talk about the international cooperations and agreements. India has started collaborating with the World Customs Organization and World Trade Organization, as well as some other customs union to standardize the practices. The international cooperations and agreements have been implemented in India through different commitments under the trade facilitation agreements. India participates in mutual recognition arrangement for AEO programs. As global cooperation enhances transparency, interoperability, and enforcement, it is important to understand that India needs to further global cooperation for achieving much more heights in terms of international trade. Let us now talk about some of the recent reforms and modernization. The recent reforms include introduction of torrent customs, which are paperless, faceless, contactless clear system. There is emphasis on pre-arrival processing and post-clearance audits, as well as the customs data analytics for trade monitoring and fraud detection. The policies that are now coming should focus on speed, security, and service quality for traders. Let us just take the case illustration. We have taken a case illustration of Torrent Customs at JNPT. The background is the JNPT company handles 55% of India's containerized trade. Before reforms, the average clear time was 72 to 96 hours. There were some reforms that were taken between 2020 and 2023, such as faceless assessment, pre-arrival procedure, such as digital documentation. What has been the impact of these reforms? The clearance time reduced to 18 to 24 hours, which means 65% faster. The inspection rate also dropped from 35% to 12%. 98% of declaration processed paperlessly. Logistic costs save 400 million US dollars, and therefore we can see that customs modernization significantly improves trade efficiency, reduces cost, and strengthens India's position in global supply chain. Dear students, just to conclude, we have understood today that customs and excise are fundamental to the structure and functioning of global trade regulation. Customs and excise has important roles to play which goes beyond taxation to include security, compliance, facilitation and policy implementation. It also very important to understand the legal framework which we have done, valuation principles, digital evolution, and institutional mechanisms which are crucial before understanding all the procedural aspects. Thus, in a nutshell, with modernization and global cooperation, Indian customs is evolving into a more transparent, efficient, and trade friendly system. Dear students, thank you very much for being with me in this session.